Hey YouTube, so I'm here to do my week 28 update since having gastric bypass surgery. Last week I was 274.8 pounds. This week I'm 271.8 pounds, so I lost 3 pounds this week, and that actually makes it to where I only have zero point 0.8 pounds left until I've reached 100 pounds lost since gastric bypass surgery in about almost 7 months. I'm definitely happy with that. My primary care doctor is very happy with that. I'm actually going to see my surgeon next Monday for my 6 month update, but even though it's like almost my 7th month update because he got so like booked up and behind that like my 3 month was late and so now my 6 month is late. So it's not too far off. So it's pretty much the same. But like I said, my primary care doctor is very happy with the amount of weight I've lost. So many things are better in my life. I used to have type 2 diabetes. I didn't have insulin, but I did do um, one pill a day. I did Actos. I used to do metformin, but it just teared my stomach up, so I couldn't do that. So I switched to Actos. And I, I need to think, but I think I was diabetic maybe like 2 years before gastric bypass surgery. But I'll be honest, I think it was honestly longer than that because I didn't go to the doctor for years, even though I know I was having trouble with stuff, not having money, being in denial, all the above, really. Also, I had high blood pressure, and of course, I no longer have diabetes anymore. Let's see. Also, I used to have high blood pressure that I no longer have anymore. I took lisinopril. High blood pressure does run in my family, so that may be something I may have in the future. Also, the diabetes, like once you become a senior citizen, if you had it, it can possibly come back. I had high cholesterol. I was taking Crestor. I no longer have to do that. Um, let's see, the medicine I was taking pre-surgery, like for my hypothyroidism, I still do take that. I've actually had to increase it a little bit since pre-surgery amount. I also still take depression medicine, which I was taking before also. That's really the only medicine I'm taking. The doctor has now put me on birth control to help with, I'm having like really severe pain when I ovulate and also when I'm having my period, because pre-surgery I didn't have a period. I was on Provera every 3 months to help have a period, and now it's actually coming on its own. Pretty much, yeah, like every month now. It's pretty regular, I would say. At first, it kind of like happened a month and then skipped a month and then there was another month. But this past month, April, it came like right on schedule. So I'm having a feeling that this month it will do the same. But of course, when my period starts, then that's when I'll start the birth control. I forget what it's called. I'll probably tell you next week because I don't remember. But so really the only medications I'm taking now is for my hypothyroidism, which I will always have to take. My depression medicine, which hopefully as time goes on, and I get through therapy and learn other ways of coping, I can maybe not have to take depression medicine or maybe at least go down on it. Um, and then the birth control, and that's it. And then of course you have all the vitamins, but so my medicine's gone down. I feel like I pretty much take as much though because of the vitamins I have to take, but I don't know. I've really kind of gotten used to it because I take my vitamins, like when I wake up, I take my thyroid medicine because you have to wait for half an hour, and then I take my, my daily vitamin, my calcium, and I think there's something else that I might be forgetting, but, and then, later on in the day you take the iron and all that and stuff. So it's become a pretty good habit. There are times I won't, I'll be honest that I do forget to take them if I'm really busy. I need to start getting in the habit of possibly just like in a to-go pill container since I have one, just always keeping like a calcium and like a multivitamin and B12 and all that just in case. And then when I take something out, just refill it. I think that would be the best option because sometimes things happen. You stay longer at a friend's house. You do stuff. And so since you have to wait the 2 hours between like iron and calcium, like if you get home at 10, or 11, it's not going to happen within that day. I still do it because it's pretty close anyway, but I think it'd be a good idea for me. Um, so update about seeing my doctor. One of the really good things I found out about is I was really worried about the cyst because they said it had only gone down just a little bit, and she was a little worried about that. She says that normally we all have a cyst when we ovulate, and then your body reabsorbs it, so it usually doesn't take this long to reabsorb. She said there was a possibility that maybe the cyst got bled into, and it's just going to take longer to heal, or your body to reabsorb it. But she said that she was also worried that maybe possibly it could be cancer, a tumor. And so I did have the blood work for that, and thankfully my numbers were good. They weren't too high. She said if they were high, then it would be a tumor. So I'm really, really thankful about that because honestly, I was just like, wow, I've lost all this weight to find out I have cancer. Like I was like, no, that's not. No. So it was a tough week because of that. Also being extremely tired. I went to I did blood work for my surgeon, but I had them fax the paperwork over to my primary care doctor since I was going to see her a week before I was going to see my surgeon. And she said the blood work was normal. Let's see. B12 was 917, and that's on almost pretty much the high end because it's like 300 and something to 1100. So like 350 to 1100. So it's more on the upper side. So that was really good. Let's see, iron was 81. So that was really good too. And she was really surprised because she told me, usually those are the two vitamins people with gastric bypass surgery are going to be low in. And I think it's pretty much I really try to keep my routine down on my vitamins. I really do because I don't want to get malnourished or sick or cause myself even more health problems. I feel like I got enough going on and I don't need that on top of things. But so I was really happy that those things were okay. I did talk to her, I explained how I was so exhausted, you would go somewhere, come home, nap, you could sleep all night and still wake up exhausted. And she honestly thinks it's depression. A couple months ago, I had, sorry, my phone, I had myself taken me down some of my depression medicine. I kind of wanted to go down because okay, I take Zoloft and I took 150 and there was a little bit of a difference between 100 and 150, but I didn't feel like it was that much, so I took myself down to 100 thinking, well, if I'm okay on this, then I'm going to stay at that. And so I kind of didn't think it was depression because like I said, I'd done it like several months ago and I thought I would have felt it more than now. But my doctor told me that a lot of her gastric bypass patients, actually their depression flares a little bit after surgery because your coping mechanism of eating is gone and you're trying to find ways to cope and cope with the changes in your body and just everything, and so much is going on that it depresses you because um like for a lot of us, we're in therapy, we're dealing with things, but that takes time and patience and all that kind of stuff. So um she says, because of that, depression flares. And so, honestly, it probably is that. That was my first thought was, oh, I'm just really depressed. I'm having a hard time in therapy and life is just hard right now. But then I was like, well, maybe it's um, a nutrient or something I'm missing because like the longer that it went on, the more I was just like, I have never been this tired, like ever. So, um, it's a good thing that I'm not deficient in other things, and hopefully over time the depression thing will get better because therapy is definitely hard, and I'm definitely not giving up because I know in the long run it's going to be so worth it. I wish I wish I could deal with my issues quicker. Um, but I guess it's just the fact of life. I guess when there's so much that you have to deal with, it's not like you're gonna like find the perfect way to get over things by the snap of your fingers. So, and I've noticed this week too, because of being so extremely tired, I've kind of resorted back to some bad habits like snacking too much, and I really, really need to cut that out because I don't want to go back to the way I was. I like this almost 100 pounds is so, I feel so much better and things are so different, and I don't want to give up the great health I have now for, you know, coping with food. I mean, of course, it did help me with my stress and stuff, but honestly, it really didn't because it made life even harder. So I don't want to go back to the way I was. So I started doing my fitness pal again, and even though I feel like it's so tedious having to log every single like thing in there, I I'm doing it, and I think that's going to help me see what I am eating and okay, should I really have that snack? Should I really not? And it also kind of reminds you how many calories are in things. Like I um I try to do it in my head, but sometimes it's really, really hard to do in my head. And then you see it after you eat it and you're like, oh my goodness, why did I just do that? So it kind of makes you a little more conscious of what's going on. So I'm definitely going to keep working on that. I think that's a major goal. Even though it's tedious, it's just a thing I need to do until I get, a little bit better on track. I wouldn't say I'm doing extremely bad, but I would just say I'm starting to resort back to some old habits. And of course, the longer you're out from gastric bypass surgery, the easier it is to go back to those old habits. And that is definitely no, I don't want to go back. So, I believe that's really about all this week. Definitely this week has just been more like emotional stuff. Really, you know, nothing's really made me like sick or anything like that. I can pretty much eat anything, which is kind of a bad thing, honestly. Um, I really have to watch that. And there are times like going in the grocery store, it's there are times that it's harder to be in the grocery store, and then there are times that it's easier to be in the grocery store because you can only eat certain things, and so it's easier to go to those healthy spots of the store. But sometimes it's harder because sometimes you want that little bit of crunch or that little bit of sweet, and to like look at things and see how many calories and how little protein everything has, like it can be frustrating and overwhelming to say the least. And um, so sometimes it's just like, you're like, forget it, or it just makes it harder. So, and it surprises me like how many like refined products have so little protein in them. It's I guess it's because it's really all carbs and sugar, and it just sucks how healthier stuff costs more. You would think that it would be the other way around, especially with the obesity epidemic the way it is, but oh well. So, I hope everybody is doing amazing, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.